All right, guys, here we have a Club Car Precedent gas. This thing has been sitting for quite a while, if you couldn't tell by its condition. It is a 2005 Precedent gas. The only thing I've done to this cart so far is pull the battery out. It was sitting for, oh geez, I'm going to say last time I worked on the cart was when it was parked up. Let's see, what do we got here? 19. I don't know if you can see the date on there. Looks like 5/2/19 on that filter, and it's 24 now. We're in June of 24, and the guy wants me to get this cart running. Customer said I have a certain limit, a budget in mind to try to stay under. I got a new battery for it. We're going to do clean up the battery cables, put new terminals on that. We're going to, well, let's see, do we have... There's no gas in the tank, so we'll have to add some fuel to it, which might be a good thing. If the tank is empty, it's possible that the carburetor is empty, and if that's the case, the carburetor might be fine and we might not have to pull it, but we won't know that until we get this thing kind of cleaned up. Now, in a scenario like this, I know you guys are probably already typing comments and screaming at the computer or your phone or tablet or whatever you're watching me on. Why don't you wash the damn cart? I can hear you now. No need to swear, okay? We'll get there. Let's get it running first, and then we'll wash it. I like to wash carts like this that have been sitting, especially if they're this grimy and grody. If somebody asks me to wash it, I do charge for that because, you know, time is money, and, you know, it costs money to run the pressure washer for chemical, fuel, you know, that kind of thing. It's not a lot. I don't charge a lot for it, but I do charge my normal hourly rate. Anyway, so what we're going to do is the top things that we need to do on this cart is at least get it running. We're going to start with that. We know we have a battery. Possibly we're going to attempt to glue this. I don't think we're going to be able to because it looks like it's already been done once and the glue is failing. These seats here, once they start to shrink like this, it's damn near impossible to get them to stretch back over the back plastic. The one thing we can probably do, if there's enough left in the budget, is maybe put a seat cover over this, wrap it around to the back, and then trim that out, maybe. I'm not any good at that stuff. Upholstery work is not my forte. I'm not very good at that. I kind of suck at it, to be honest. And I'm not afraid to admit what I'm not good at, because I know this. This is my forte. This is my expertise, not seats and whatnot. So we're going to just kind of get this thing pushed up on the ramps. The tires, actually, surprisingly, for being sat so long, are still holding air, which is pretty nice. Oh, this is also my forte too, networking. Yeah, so we're gonna we're gonna try to get this thing to run, and then we'll get into it. This might be a multi-parter, we'll see. Probably not, but let's get it up on the ramps over here, get it up in the air, and then, oh, actually, you know what we're going to do first? We're going to push it out into the driveway, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my little blower, and I think we'll blow out the engine bay here just to kind of get some of the heavy stuff off and see where that takes us. All right, so I use this little Milwaukee blower. It's a compact blower, part number 0884-20. It's just an M18 compact blower. I got this thing for after washing carts. What I do is I usually blow off the seat, or I'll blow out the electrical areas that are wet. Sometimes the easy goes. The backup alarm will buzz even though it's not in reverse when it gets wet. battery hold down bracket thingy. Let's put it on the back. Oh, what's left of the back seat. Difference, huh? It's amazing what a little bit of... Never mind, I'm not going to say it. It's going to be a dirty comment. I'm not going to turn it into a dirty comment. Alright, so I'm going to put the seat on. Kind of just blow out the cab here. On my side too to help. Good. All right, that helped significantly. All right, let's get it up on the ramps. Go for a ride with me here. Beautiful. It's almost like I've done that before. Now, see, something like that I'm willing to do because nothing's wet. That's the important thing. When you start cleaning carts with water and you haven't even gotten them running yet, you know, you're going to potentially create yourself more issues. So you're better off just waiting. Especially for carts like this that have been sitting a long time. You don't want to get anything wet until you get it running, because if you get something wet and you think you're chasing down one problem when it's really an electrical problem now because you soaked everything, that's why I don't wash them until... Now, that's why I don't wash them, period, until I know they're working or somebody wants to pay me to do it. So, all right, now we got that done. Let's jump into putting that battery in, because that's the first thing we need to do. The biggest problem with these newer carts is everything is plastic. Even the bucket is plastic. There's nowhere to clamp my camera to without squishing something. Let's see if our lighting is going to be good enough here. This is the blue is always for the light kits on these club cars. Gotta clean these up first. Here's looks like a ground for the light kit. Light kit. I don't know if this is factory or not. It doesn't look like it. That's the cart's negative. But see how nice it is now. The battery drain area is able to drain out. Aluminium bracket and the screw. My European viewers are probably like, thank you for saying it right. All right, let's pop this in. Let's get this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let me clean those terminals first, so that way that's done. We'll use the death wheel, and hopefully I don't kill myself here. I think I need to clean this out. Did you just see sparks shooting out of this thing? Because I did. I'm not going to use this big thing on those. I'll use a smaller one. All right, so typically the club cars, and even some of the newer carts, why they're doing this, I don't know, but they're using Group 70 battery, which is a side terminal battery. I hate side terminal batteries because they don't have, the threads are not long enough practically in any of those batteries where you get a nice solid, oh, now this battery's not going to fit in here, right? It will. Just going to have to take off them little lips on the side. Okay, so that's... Anyway, so I use Group 26 batteries in pretty much every golf cart except Yamaha, which takes a Group 24. I don't know why Yamaha uses such a large battery in those carts, but I always try to put back what was designed to be in the cart. I don't know if it was because it was a common battery at the time or what the deal is, but... Let's see, what I think I'll do, because the Group 70s don't have, what I'm running into is this little lip here on these X sides. I don't know why they put that there, because usually the front and back lip is all that's good enough. I don't want to modify the battery because that could potentially ruin the warranty, so what I'll do is... I think maybe I'll cut this lip off here. 2 amp hour gig here. It's way undersized for this. No worries. And we just need to cut a little bit of this off. All right, and that's just to allow for this to fit. Okay. Hot plastic. Okay. That ain't gonna hurt anything to do, except melt your gloves. Put the battery in now so it fits. I don't want to modify the battery because it's potential, oh, you modified the battery, no more warranty. There we go. Now it sits right in and the phone rang. All right, so like I said, now the battery, oh, I gotta put gloves back on. But it is already like 87 degrees outside and the humidity is like 9,000%. And I can't breathe in it. So I have to move a little slower than I normally do. But all right, so we have a top post battery installed, Group 26. See, and it does sit in there nice and flat now, and the mounting bracket will clear. If I can just see what I'm doing. There we go. It actually sits in there a lot better than it did before. I'll take the screw. We're going to start it, which is a Torx head. Anybody else notice that they're using Torx on a lot of stuff lately? Because ratcheting the screwdriver thingamajig here. We'll get this anchored in. You guys see what I'm doing, I hope? Okay, so that's in. Battery secured. Now the only difference going from a Group 70, which like I said has side mounted posts, terminal things, to a top post is always make sure that your negative is as close to whatever you have in here, like cables and such. You don't want the positive accidentally shorting out against the ground. I know it's not ideal this way, but again, it does change to a less expensive battery. Those Group 70s are expensive compared to the 26s. 26s are very, very common. Let's see, negative terminal is always smaller usually than the positive terminal. And then I'll use these clamps here. And this allows me to make it a little bit more serviceable than it normally would. And then I'll just take the existing cable and I will put the cable underneath what would normally be used as the clamp. Clean. Probably shorten this wire. That overkill? Probably. Nonetheless, it works. Okay. So, like I was saying, I like to do this. I like to do it this way just because of ease of serviceability. It does help when you can make your cart more serviceable as far as changing something simple. Okay, yeah, so it's not the exact battery that belongs in the cart. It's not the factory battery that belongs in the cart. But when situations call for a $190 battery or whatever it costs, I don't even remember what the price was, compared to a $140 battery, for example, I think I'm going to do the $140 battery. So the nuts on top of, or these bolts here rather, these are 7/16. I know some people don't like this, the way I do this. I cleared it with the customer. I let them know that battery expense is, or how expensive the other battery is in comparison to this one. And these connectors here, I hate these specific ones because these are the ones I got from Red Hawk way, I think a couple years ago. I usually order them by like 50 to 100 at a time. Probably should do the positive side first, but you know what? There's no metal under here. It's all flipping plastic, and they used to be good. They used to be Decas or Decas, but then they switched to an in-house manufacturer, I guess. And I'll show you in a second here why I don't like these particular ones, but I'm trying to use them up because I don't like them and they suck. Okay, so here's the Red Hawk one. You can see it looks, you know, like a standard battery clamp, but notice how the nuts are not captive inside the head, and they don't even sit in there tight. So when you back this nut out, or this bolt out, that nut drops if you put it on the battery first. Then you got to get in there and fart around with it. Here's a Deca, or a Deca, whatever it's called. See how the nut is captive inside the head? You can remove this bolt while this is mounted to the battery and make your adjustments and not lose the nut that's captive inside there. Okay, pluses and minuses to that. If the nut gets all rusted and corroded, you can't change it. It's going to end up rounding off and stripping out. Now this is basically no good. Pros to this is, okay, you can change the nut if you can get it out, but by the time you get to that nut, it's going to round out that hole anyway. So it's kind of a wash when it comes to that. And you can also see the Deca's a little bit thicker in the sidewall. About the same thickness here in the material. This is, you can tell it's not as nice looking. This opening on the Deca is a little smaller. If you're a representative of Deca batteries or Deca batteries, please let me know if I'm saying that right or wrong. I do like to pronounce manufacturer name things correctly when possible. But anyway, so that's one thing with these. I wish I didn't buy so many, but you know, live and learn. All right, so then the positive side that goes to the solenoid, we're going to hook closest to the solenoid. Hooking these up, you know, find your own system that works. If you want to have, like, see, I can set this off this way now and there won't be any stress. But that's what I like about these, is this gives me the opportunity to route wires and make things cleaner and get stuff kind of organized a little better. I generally try to do that on most carts when I work on them, so I don't have to worry about where things are and what they're doing and all that stuff. Kind of makes it a little easier the next time I have to work on it, or the next guy that works on it, or gal, or person that works on the cart. They kind of can see what's going on in there. I know I'm kind of rambly today. Boy, it is hot. I'm gonna have to fire this fan up soon, guys. I know it makes a hell of a noise, but I gotta be able to keep a breeze on me because 'tis tad warm. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, there's no fuel in the tank, so I'm not worried about that. Once I get this tightened up, I am going to, well, one, I'm going to check the oil before we crank this over because it's been sitting. I don't know if it leaks oil. We're not changing the oil yet. We're going to get it running first before we do all that stuff. I'd be curious to see how dirty the oil is. I bet you the oil's clean because the customer told me they haven't used it since I've last worked on it. Wow. I mean, oil doesn't go bad, but because it's been sitting, we don't know if there's any moisture in it. Put it in service mode so it'll run in neutral. I know it's not going to start because there's obviously no fuel in it. I just want to see what we got going on in here. Sorry about the back of my head. Okay, so there's just a bunch of leaves in there. I might actually drill a hole here and put a new zip tie in there. Because you can... Oh, wait, never mind. The clip just came off. There. Okay, that's fixed. Okay, so you can hear there's some leaves that I couldn't get out with the blower, but you can hear the engine's cranking over. All right, let's check the air filter, see how that looks. Practically brand new. I just want to make sure there's no mouse houses in here. Yeah, look at that. That's a brand new filter. It smells good, too. This gasket is a bit tattered, and I don't have any of these, and I can't get any until, like, August. They're all out of stock, unfortunately. And that's all nice and clean, too. I can't even get these things. I need a bunch of them, because I have a whole bunch of carts that need those. Okay. Like that. I do want to double check the gas tank. I want to make sure it is absolutely, completely bone dry before. Now, I do see some varnishy fuel on the bottom, so you know what I'll do? I have this stick with a microfiber towel on it that I use for, well, I try to shove it down in the tank here and kind of spin it around. I use it for trying to wipe out the tank. Spin it around like this. Try to get most of the wetness out of the bottom of the tank. See, there's a little bit of wetness in there. That stinks. Much better. There's still a little bit of varnishy fuel in the corner over here I'm going to try to get. These tanks are a little trickier to get into because they're just so narrow. And then what I'll do is I'll shove a couple of shop towels down on there, blow them around with the air compressor. That should help absorb more of it. There we go, I got more of it out. That got significantly heavier. Okay, good. Don't try this unless you have a way to get these towels out, like with one of those little grab me things. So I'll take, air compressor might come on, just heads up. So I'll take the air blow nozzle and blow it in here, and what that does is it makes the shop towel blow around in the tank. Don't stand over this because shit does come flying out of there. Alright, let's reach down in there and grab that. Alright, you can see it's a little more damp. You can see the yellow on there maybe. Hopefully the camera picks that up. That's all that varnish that was down in the tank. Oh, that is significantly better. So I have this boat tank that I use for wipe off the dust here. I use it for treating fuel systems on carts before I put them into storage. Let's disconnect that fuel filter. Right here. That'll stop in a minute, don't worry. We are changing this filter anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I'll actually, you know what, I'll actually get in touch with the customer before we put any fuel in this, because I might only do a gallon or two, just in case he doesn't get an opportunity to use the cart. Okay. Alright, so like I said, that's non-ethanol fuel. See if you can see that filter. And this will also tell me if the fuel pump is working. I might have to prime the system. Okay, see it pulling fuel. I have another filter on my tank here too. Might have to prime it because I don't think it's... So we'll just give it a little of air into the boat tank. About exploding anything. There we go. All right. You can see the filter element is getting wet, so that now it's dribbling down into the fuel pump. Let's see what we got here. Okay, now it's pulling it. Nice. What do you think the chances of this thing starting are? Just cap on, keep all that debris out of there. Do you think it'll start? I'm not going to give it any choke. Hedge your bets. Okay, I'm going to give it some choke. The bowl could be varnished on the carburetor, so it looks like it's pumping though, so that's a good thing. You can see it filling the... It is filling that, so there it goes. Wow! She's a runner. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, no choke. It might need choke because it's... I just want to see. Wow, that runs good. Oil light is not on, so that's good. It's got oil pressure. I'm not going to run it too long because I do want to blow it out again to make sure there's no, now that I can actually see inside there. I'll get my light because I want to make sure that's completely clean. It's going to get loud again. Okay, see, that's good. Now I got all the leaves and crap out of there. I mean, over time when you're driving it, it will work. Let's see if it'll start right up now. Oh, that's awesome. Well, shoot, that's a pretty damn good result. So I know the only thing we really need to do to this is I want to spray the battery terminals down now with battery protectant because we know this is good. I'll write the date of install on here, which I think today is the 20th, first day of summer. The air filter is good. We don't have to change it. I will check the spark plug. We are going to change the oil and filter, and we are going to change the fuel filter just because it's been sitting for so long. We want to make sure everything is fresh for this guy so he can get on this thing and enjoy it. And I will take it for a small road test just to make sure there's no little gremlins that come up. That way we don't get a callback for something that didn't work or whatever. This was always a good cart. I remember working on this thing years ago. And I know some people are going to say the oil's fine. Why bother changing it? You don't need to be wasting time and money and blah, blah, blah. Again, guys, it comes down to if it's your cart, you could do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You don't have to change the oil. If you've never run the cart after doing work or whatever, and it ends up sitting for whatever reason for multiple years, and it's still good, don't change the oil if you don't want to. But you know what? Because this is not my cart, it is a customer's cart, and we need it to be reliable. I don't feel comfortable, and even if it was my own cart, I would change the oil. All right, and the filter. So I'm not doing anything to this that I wouldn't do to my own. Let's put it that way. Oil is cheap. Engines are not. Okay, fuel filter. And I always use a paint marker. I stopped using Sharpie because it fades. The paint marker has seemed to have been a pretty reliable way of taking down dates. This is my biggest complaint about Precedents, is this stupid thing. Oh, there's no room with this thing in here. Yeah, you could take it off, but in order to do that, you gotta take the screws out of the body here. There's 2 screws here, then you gotta pull this back, lift it out, and that's a lot to do just to get this out of the way. When I can get in here just fine, it's just annoying. Alright. What plug number is this? This is a BPR 5ES. And there is a shitload of silicone on here. I did not do this. This is not my plug. So I think... I don't know. See, it looks good. I mean, it's got a... It's not fouled or anything. I mean, it's... I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you guys put a plug in it, or would you just run with it? I think we'll just run with it, because these little bastards are expensive. They have gotten so expensive, spark plugs. And I only use NGKs. I will not use Autolites, Champions, or... Not that there's anything wrong with them, but these engines are spec'd for NGK plugs. So that's what I run. Oh, it wasn't even... That washer wasn't even crushed, so I know that wasn't mine. Alright, that should be... That runs. Okay. So all we got left now is engine oil and filter, and then we'll check the tires and brakes. Engine oil is warm now, so... It'll pull towards me to loosen. Let's see if I can... Okay, there we go. Drain plug is coming off. Yep, you know, nice and clear that is. How's our squash washer look? Oh, it's practically brand new. I wonder if I put that on too. Put that here. Let that actually, look at, see, it's a little milky. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, that could just be from the aeration of from the engine running, and it's not hot, which is a very good possibility, but it looks practically brand new. But again, we don't know. We don't know what contaminations, if any, or contaminants rather, are in the oil. I would rather err on the side of caution. See, and that squash washer is perfectly thick. I do have new ones, but it doesn't need it. Let's, can I get this off without a wrench? Nope. Let's see if this will be small enough. I don't remember. Oh yeah, that should. There we go. Perfect. All right, and then I have these 1 quart containers. I like to put underneath the filter. These are a little trickier because the brake cables are in the way, of course. Made it frickin' impossible. There we go. That's down. All right, that's down on the subframe now. I should be able to grab. There we go. So yeah, this brake cable. Flip it up on top of the oil filter housing thingy. Technical term, by the way. And using a little catch tray. Do I have a date on here? This was before I was dating filters. This little tiny screen, it's really hard to tell for sure what you guys can see versus what I can see. Alright, so now what I've been doing lately, because for some reason these filters, I know it's not this one because this is 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever it is now. The O-ring, the gasket on the filters, have been getting stuck on the carts for some reason. Alright, now while that's doing its thing and splashing oil everywhere, we'll dump that out over there. I'm going to reach in before it starts dripping. Get the oil drain plug going. Oil filter. And because I'm no longer a Rox dealer, I don't use Rox or Red Hawk filters because, well, one, I don't have anymore, and two, yeah, can't get anymore. So I do have, potentially, I do have something pretty exciting that's going to be coming out. I'm thinking in the next few weeks, a few weeks to a month. I have a company sending me something, which anybody that knows me is probably thinking, what? When you see it, it'll be interesting, and I hope it works. I really do. I hope it works out because I want my mind. Hopefully it'll change my mind and my feelings on this particular topic. I don't want to give too much of it away because I want to wait and see if I'm actually going to get the product first before I tell you what it is, because I've never done this before, so we'll see. Okay, all right, so drain plug is in. I just have to tighten it, and then what I do is I get it till it touches, and then I go, that's it. That's all it needs. Doesn't need to be impact tight. Oil filter is snug. All right, yeah, everything's good down here. Let's go top side and give it some oil. Okay, pull the dipstick. Okay, put that on a towel there so it doesn't make a mess. Move my drain pan. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I have to use a funnel on this because I can't get my oiling can down in here. Look at that, almost perfectly down the center of the hole. I couldn't even do that if I tried. Normally, like on the DS's where they have a lot more room under here, I can stick that nozzle down inside the fill tube and it just goes. There's no, I don't need a funnel. I'm only using the funnel because I can't get down in there without creating a mess. 1.5 quarts of oil. It's going to read high on the dipstick for two reasons. One, the oil filter is not primed yet. And because they're horizontal filters, you can't really prime them without making a mess, so I don't. I just crank the engine over, don't let it start a couple of seconds, and then I'll start it up and run it, make sure it's good. Recheck the oil after a couple of minutes just so it settles down into the bottom of the engine, into the sump. And it will read high again, slightly over full because the cart is inclined a little higher in the ass end. Then it's not sitting level how it normally would sit on the ground, so it will read a little higher. But 1.5 quarts is what this engine holds, no problem. And I'm using 10W30. I think it's a semi-synthetic oil. It's not a full synthetic. TrueGuard. Good stuff. I've been using it for years. It's never had a problem. So just to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just filled it. I always wipe the stick off when I pull it out because of filling it, that oil running down the side is going to give you a funky reading. So now when I check it, you can see it's all the way up to here. I have not run the engine yet, so let's start it up. We don't have long to run because there's only whatever's in the bowl. We're going to crank it over. Now, see, it already started because the governor's out of adjustment. Low RPMs. You don't need to go high. I look around the filter to make sure there's no leaks. Make sure the gasket's holding. Rev it up, full throttle. Let it sit. No knocking, no clicking, no bad sounds. I'll check it again. And again, I'm going to wipe the stick off. Make sure you don't push that back down there so it's clean. Guys, I know it's practically flipping impossible to see, but now you can see the cavitation in the oil. So it is still showing a little bit high. Let me lower the back of the cart down a little. All right, so now that's sitting more where it'll sit naturally. What did I do with my towel? There it is. Sitting more naturally like it would on the ground. Pretty close to it then. All right, so now I'll wipe it again. Check it. There's still some oil on the inside of the dipstick tube here. Okay, so now it's sitting right at full, right on the full mark, or the full word. So we know we're okay. I usually like to give them a little bit more than what full is. Not a lot. You know, it's maybe an ounce or two more than what it should be. So technically, you know, 1.45 quarts of oil this thing holds. And I put, or 1.5 quarts, 1.5 quarts. Oh, by the way, this stuff sucks. Once this can gets down to like half empty, you can't spray it at this angle and get, look, I go around the battery. See, it sprays fine now. But once this fluid gets down below like halfway, it'll just spray out the propellant. I'll never buy this stuff again. Whoever designed that can needs a swift kick in the human genital parts. Okay, that is that for right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in touch with the customer, give them the good news to let them know we got the cart running. We did the service on it. I still have to check the tires, make sure they're going to hold air. The brakes on this are pretty good. I still have to go around, check the tires, check the lights, and I have to grease the front end. But let me get in touch with the customer first to see what they want to do about fuel, because we do need fuel. I just need to know how much they're willing to put into here. I have to put at least a gallon in here, just so that way there's enough fuel in here to do road tests and all that stuff. But I want to make sure they don't want it filled before I go through all that. All right, so I talked to my customer. They opted to go for about a gallon or so of fuel. We're not going to completely fill the tank. And that's more or less just in case they don't have an opportunity to come up and use this thing. So this is fresh gas that I got probably about a week ago, so it's still fresh. I'm going to give them a fresh 1 gallon here. There's about 2.5 gallons left in this can. A little bit more, half a gallon. Now, what I do is if somebody wants me to put gas in their cart, I have to go and get it and all that stuff. I do charge more per gallon than what you can buy it yourself, because I'm not a gas station, so it's more of a convenience thing. There's a gallon, a little more than a gallon actually. Put that there. Now we can actually run it and get the fuel system primed and all that stuff. And then that's going to pretty much do it for everything under the seat. Let's see how we do here. Just going to run it nice and slow. It's a beautiful thing. It's great when everything works like it's supposed to. Alright, so that concludes everything under the seat. I'm going to put this back into normal run mode so when it's in gear it will work. I just did a walk around with the lights on. The lights are all working. There is a problem though in the back here. I have to figure out how I'm going to fix this. Take you around here. This tail light, the glue has failed. I'm going to see if I can get the old stuff off. I might have some VHB tape I could put on there, and then I'll fix this wire. Though it doesn't have brake lights or turn signals, it would just be nice to have it, you know, properly hooked up and all that stuff. Alright, let me see what I have here, because then I can clean this up real quick and get this attached. I'll take you along for the ride with this one. I don't know who did this, it wasn't me. But we're going to correct this a little bit. Good clean copper. Good clean copper. Okay. So what I like to do is I take the stabby part of the crimper and I use that to give me a nice solid crimp, and then I'll use the flat side of the crimper to complete the crimp. Like, I don't squeeze it so hard to the point where it squashes the plastic. It's just enough to make it hold the wire in place for me. And then when I use the insulated, it squishes it down real nice. Looks like somebody did not do that with those. Okay, so that fixes that, though that circuit is not connected. So now we got to get this thing reattached. Some of these lights actually have screw holes, so the tape is more of like a hold it in place kind of thing until, you know, you can get the screws in, but this is tape only. So I do have some VHB tape, very high bond tape, 3M stuff. Let's clean this up, and we'll clean up, see if this will come off. This will probably come off with some brake clean. Yeah, it's kind of peeling off. Maybe we can get this foamy tape off here and put some good stuff on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I've already sprayed a little bit of brake cleaner on that foam to hopefully it'll start to dissolve the adhesive. And then I'm just going to take some visible glass here. We'll clean up the mating surface, or this part of the cart. This is going to clean up real nice when we wash it. Alright, that didn't really do good, so let's take a little bit of brake clean on a shop towel here. And I don't ever really like to spray the brake clean onto this on this surface directly. Don't use carburetor cleaner, but that will basically destroy the plastic. Yeah, see, the brake clean is doing a much better job at removing. There we go. Much better. Okay. So that's basically ready. I don't know how well it's going to work on here. I have an idea. Hold on a second. All right, so a while ago I bought one of these decal remover thingies for your drill. I wonder if it'll do any good on here. Let's see. I'm going to try it this way. Low speed, of course. Alright. Okay. Oh. Seems like it's... Oh, what the hell. Oh, loosened up on the thing here. Should I go in reverse, maybe? Let's see. Maybe I'll go in reverse so it tightens as it's running. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good. I'm not using too much pressure because I don't want to melt the plastic. All I want to do is get the majority of this off and then see if the brake clean will help take off the rest. I just got to get the foam layer off because that's the part that's the hardest. Actually, that's working pretty well. Wow. It's saving me from having to use like a razor blade. Yeah. Kind of using the edge of the wheel here. Alright, let me... So the problem is I don't have enough wire to pull it down here. I don't have a way to hold on to it. Okay, that I think that worked way better than I expected. Let's put some brake clean on shop towel here and wipe her down. Just need to get the residue off so the tape has a nice clean surface to stick to. Or a cleaner surface to stick to. Okay. Alright, yeah. I mean, my gloves are... Yeah, I'm digging that. I got some of the 3M VHB here, and it's significantly wider than what was already on here, so I don't think we're going to need as much. We'll start here. I'll trim it around the... Well, I don't think it really matters because that's going to only go into the hole where the wires come out anyway. And then we'll do another little piece just right here. Okay. Let's see. I'm not going to do down the side. I don't really think that's necessary with how large of a surface area this tape has. I'm just trying to get underneath the protected layer here with the blade. There we go. Alright. There we go. Okay. Now, one shot at this. One shot and one shot only. I'm going to try to get it as closely lined up to the body as I can. Okay, right there. Now I'm just going to press without breaking the lamp. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's way better, right? That ain't going anywhere. Wait. That ain't going anywhere. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this one. After I got the light done, I went ahead, put the seat on, went around, checked all the tires. They're all at 20 PSI. I also greased the front kingpins. That's really all that there is to grease on these. And took it for a little bit of a road drive for about 15 minutes. Everything seems good. It starts right back up. No weird noises or sounds or hiccups or anything like that. It's a really good running cart. It drives nice. It just is ugly because it's all covered in lichens and barnacles and moss and really thick stuff. Wow, that won't even come off with my fingernail. So I'll end up taking this over to the storage building where the pressure washer is, giving it a good wash. Might take you along for the ride with that. We'll see. If not, this will be the end of the video. Alright guys, so I decided that I would take you along for the washing of this cart. Let's go on over here and see what we have here. Oh, I got my angle pretty bad. Funny enough, it rained a lot the past couple of days, so the cart really doesn't look too terrible until you get right up on top of it. I'm going to shove it over here a little bit further over to where that rock is. That's usually where I park carts to get them up against that tire. And I think what we'll do is we'll do a wash on this thing. Let's see what Super Clean can do. And don't mind my busted awning on the RV over there. Alright, hopefully this will work out. It's been a couple of days since I worked on this cart and where I can actually get over here to wash this thing. So it's cooler today. Probably should have gotten this thing over here sooner to wash it when it was really hot, but I'm actually in pants today, which is unbelievable. Only in the 60s. Anyway, we're gonna put the windshield up, we're gonna soap everything down, I'll fire up the pressure washer, and then we'll just go to town washing it and see how it looks when it's done. We'll do a walk around and check it out. So I always put Super Clean on dry, that way it doesn't get diluted when you're spraying it on. It sticks. We're going to get it all over everything. We're going to get the roof. Hold on, right in my face. This way I could let it soak at full strength on this thing. sorry about the back seat because it doesn't exist. Ooh, somebody's cooking something. Smells like chicken. Chicken. And why not? Let's get the... Pretty windy today. Thankfully over here it's usually not. So I'll take you a walk around here. You can see how it's saturated. Even the seat separating out. But yeah, we got it all saturating. I'm going to do under the seat last. It's not really that dirty under there. I don't usually super clean under the seats anyway because yeah, it doesn't really need it. It's really not that bad under there, to be honest. Okay, let me set you back up. We'll fire the pressure washer up and we'll wash it and then we'll go around it again. This is not a sponsored video for Super Clean. This is just, I just felt like taking you along for the ride. Should. What a transformation. Look, you can't even tell there's a windshield there, minus the hinge. it just looks like a brand new cart. Isn't that amazing? All right, minus the issues with the seats, but I mean, even under here cleaned off. Now, there's some areas I couldn't get. They're just stained way too long, and that Super Clean won't take that off. I'm not going to go and scrub this thing. I'm just trying to get it clean for the guy, so when he sees it, it'll be clean and looking good for him. At least it does right now. I mean, if it stays dry, it's going to get all dusty and dirty again, because the roads where this goes are not the greatest. So yeah, what do you think? This is Super Clean. I put it in pump sprayers. That's awesome. I'm going to actually be leaving this here. I'm going to put it in the building for now, because I'm not taking it back yet. I have to get a load of carts over to the shop and do some work on them first, and then this will go up with the load. Now, the wood that came flying off the back here for the back seat, he told me not to worry about any of this, because all he really cares about at this time is the flatbed deck. And that even turned out really good. I might even just leave it out like that, because there's no seat cushions on it. But we got rid of all the moss and lichens and all the other stuff that was in here. We'll just take this off, and I don't know, it's garbage really. You can't really do anything with it, because it's... If he wants it back, I'll hang on to it for him. But yeah, there's the finished product. Super Clean's amazing stuff, guys. I'm not sponsored by them. They did send me some free product a couple years ago. I tried out most of the stuff. The only thing I couldn't try out was the chrome wheel cleaner, because I don't have any chrome wheels on anything I own. They're either aluminum or just plain steely wheels, and there's no aluminum or no chrome wheels on any of the golf carts, none of my trailers. Everything's steel or aluminum. That's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Again, just let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm really curious. Anybody else that uses, if you use Super Clean, or if you have a similar product that you think might work better, leave it down in the comments, because I'd be curious to know what you guys are using. Prerequisites: it has to be biodegradable, which Super Clean is. Be a degreaser, and it's got to work just as good, if not better, than Super Clean. Also, one of the most important things is I have to be able to get it in 55-gallon drums. I buy Super Clean 55 gallons at a time. It is very expensive, unless Super Clean, you want to sponsor me. It has to be safe for the environment. It can't be explosive. It can't be Super Clean is corrosive to the right materials, like aluminum. And I don't know. Yeah, just whatever. I'm just rambling now. Alright guys, so that's going to close out this video. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it as always. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one.